Part 1: Roger Klang's Philosophy, from my book Causation and the Universe: A Bridge Between the 1900s and the 2000s. Why is the universe composed so that intelligent life is possible? Some say that the reason we can even ponder the question, why does the universe bother to exist, is because the universe is composed so that intelligent life is possible, inevitable, some say. That is, because we are here. The improbable coincidence, or the therefore probable God, in the origins of all the well tuned building blocks and conditions of the universe, is therefore allegedly solved. All of these randomly well tuned universal laws of nature and components that make up our universe are explained by our existence, that we can contemplate it. Had we not existed, there would have been nothing to ponder, some say with another choice of words. That's not very argumentative, in my opinion. If, on the other hand, there were a conglomerate of universes with different conditions, well, then the same argument about randomly well tuned laws of nature and components explained by the fact that we exist would suddenly be hardcore, because the existence of our universe, which makes it possible for us to ponder about the question why the universe exists, increase with the number of universes that exist. That Stephen Hawking was onto something. Roger M. Klang, August 2008. Multiverse. Where does it stop? The opposite opinion. What says that the universe must end with one multiverse? If the universe we know today is not the complete universe, then scientists do not have to stop with one multiverse either. There may just as well be an added universe, as the multiverse is just barely infinite. After this universe, there can be many more universes. So why stop at a multi universe when you can count multi universes times 10? It does not have to be our specific world, the universe as we see it from the inside, that is the largest complete space containing matter. But there is also no good reason to think that there must be a multiverse that is larger than our universe, and which contains our universe and multiple other universes. A multiverse could explain why we live in a universe that is so finely tuned that it is precisely adapted to produce intelligent life that can reflect on the multiverse. But you just push the problem with the origin of the universe/multiverse in front of you. The only thing you can explain is the origin of the intelligent man, and then only that man has evolved, not how man has evolved. Same with the universe. In addition, the hypothesis of one or more multiverses is not even a falsifiable or verifiable hypothesis. No matter how much Stephen Hawking, RIP, and his agnostic or atheist equals desire, they cannot rule out any existence of a God. It does not matter how large multi-universes there might exist, because you can still not get rid of a possible creator, no matter how many multiverses. Then we can just as well stop where we are today and accept one universe without ruling out the possibility of the non-falsifiable, non-verifiable hypothesis that there may be an even larger multiverse. I doubt that one can make mathematical calculations that are complete and valid and support the hypothesis of possible multiverses. Why should one apply the mathematical laws of our visible universe to other strange universes in multiverses? In any case, I am sure that one cannot make mathematical calculations that truly support the theory of the origin of a multiverse, when one cannot even mathematically prove the causality of the origin for the visible and measurable universe. At first, man knew that Earth was the center of the universe. Then suddenly, the Sun became the center of our solar system. Much later, we understood that we live in a galaxy with many, many stars. Shortly thereafter, we lived in a galaxy cluster among billions of other galaxies. And now they say, without being able to see or detect this mysterious multiverse, that our universe is just one among an immense number of universes with different conditions and laws of nature. And what are these laws of nature then, I ask? Mathematics and laws of nature seem to come in one and the same set and are dependent on space, time, and mass in motion. I cannot imagine a lasting universe without these factors. The question is where to stop? At what point do you set the limit for our understanding of the extent of the universe or the multiverse? At some point, you must hold back your imagination and trust common sense, especially as there is a complete lack of empirical evidence for a multiverse. Roger M. Klang, March 2014. How many light years does the universe extend? There is a book called Just Six Numbers: The Deep Forces That Shape the Universe, written by the astrophysicist Sir Martin Rees. He, or rather the inflation theorists, are presenting a hypothesis that the universe was expanding with inflation speed to an almost unimaginable expanse, which would entail that the light from the edge of the universe would need so many years for it to reach us that we would have to write this number with millions of zeros after. I assert that this is absurd. Even a number as large as 1,000 billion light years would be improbable, because it would mean that the location of our solar system in relation to the place of origin for the universe would account for an implausible 1% chance of being located where it is, i.e., about 10 billion light years from the Big Bang, if the universe was 1,000 billion light years in extent. I assert that the extension of our universe can be at most, say, an arbitrarily set 100 billion light years, i.e., our galaxy has one chance in 10 of being located where it is located. 10% probability makes the probability many times higher that we are in square one out of 10 possible. Except, it may be the case that the reason why we are here in square one, out of an infinite number of billions of places from the Big Bang, is because life can only develop and thrive in the first 10 billion light year square out of a fantasilion number of squares from the universe's origin. And hence we are simply living here and not in any other place. Thus, any creature can therefore look out into the universe only from our approximate light year square in the universe. But the hypothesis mediated in the mentioned book is an unlikely one, as far as I can try to understand. Roger M. Klang, March 2008. The finite universe. There is a very simple geometric proof that the universe is finite. If the universe had not been finite, but infinite, then two nearby stars at the farthest distance from the Earth, if you could say farthest distance from the Earth in an infinite universe, seen horizontally from the Earth, would lie along exactly the same axis. Thus, triangular formations could not exist in such a universe, and consequently, the Pythagorean theorem would have no meaning. It does not matter if two stars are at a 44-degree angle from each other from the Earth, because if the universe is infinite, sooner or later, with the increased distance, the stars will lie along one and the same axis as seen from Earth. This means that an infinite universe would necessarily have had to be one-dimensional if it were to exist, just like the number series. The whole thing reminds me of the turtle that repeatedly halved its walking pace or distance walked, and therefore never reached the finish line. There is a similar principle that prevails in the Pythagorean theorem. A theoretical triangle can never become a straight line, no matter how long the base is and how short the height of the triangle is. Thus, the Pythagorean theorem makes an infinite universe impossible. Or one might say that a finite universe enables the Pythagorean theorem. It is a mistake to think of nothingness outside the universe as an entity or an infinite and/or dark but empty extension of the universe. One should see the universe as an infinite but limited and curved sphere. Infinity thus exists only within the curvature of the universe. There is no point in imagining an outside universe within quotation marks. We stand within the universe and look at our universe from the inside, and the so-called infinity outside this concept neither exists nor can be understood. It cannot be understood because it cannot exist. The absence of light is not equal to black. Black is a perception, or a lack of a perception, that manifests itself in our brain, and that only exists in living beings in the universe. If you ask a blind person what black is, he probably answers that this is what he experiences. But black does not exist outside the brains of thinking creatures. Black is a brain ghost. Thus, we may have eliminated the need to imagine the so-called properties of the outer universe. The only place in which infinity has a theoretical bearing is, as mentioned, the two-dimensional number series. Theoretical because in theory you can continue to count as far as you want or can. Roger M. Klein, October 2014.